All right, y'all. Today we're reacting to the 9 worst ways to die in history. I just found some I recommended. That'd be a decent reacts video for today. So hope y'all enjoy. Hope y'all enjoy. Sorry, for the people that wanted to see a video yesterday, I'm sorry, I couldn't get one out. I for some reason did not film on Sunday last week. I was being extremely lazy. But yeah, sorry about that. But hope y'all like today's video, and I'll try and get one out tomorrow and Friday. See if I can't record another one today, and then get one out, and then get one out for Friday. So yeah, hope y'all like this one, and I'll see y'all tomorrow on Thursday. So bye.
Your chances of survival in the past would be zero. The moment you were suspected of arson in Rome, you'd be turned into a living torch. And during the Renaissance, you'd be torturing yourself with parasite worms to wear luxurious clothing. Being suspected of a crime in 16th century England, or even worse, in ancient Persia, would guarantee you absolutely hellish punishments.
Oh my
These
gosh.
types of torture are exactly what I'm going to tell you about in today's video, so viewer discretion is advised. Never again will you be able to enjoy the colorful flashes of Roman candles, since you're about to find out the origin of their name. In 64 AD, a capricious and cruel emperor, Nero, threw a loud party in Rome. Everything was in the best traditions of that time. Lots of wine, naked people, bread, and circuses. However, the latter were horrific. On the eve of the party, a fire broke out in the city. It went on for 6 days and destroyed 10 out of 14 districts, leaving thousands of citizens homeless and killing hundreds of innocent people. Rumor had it that Nero himself had ordered to set Rome on fire. To silence these rumors, the tyrannical emperor pinned the arson on adherents of other faiths, including Christians. They were arrested, thrown into prisons, and tortured. Yet it wasn't enough for the savage Nero, so he came up with something called Roman candles. The prisoners were wrapped in coated with highly flammable materials like tar, oil, and wax, and set alight, serving as living candles. The insane Nero lit his grand parties in this way, and his perverted guests sought entertainment in human suffering. I can't call this justice, but 4 years after this, there was an uprising against Nero. The emperor realized what his fate would be, so he committed suicide, not to experience the suffering he'd inflicted upon others. The next reason why you wouldn't have survived in the past was witchcraft accusations. You said the earth rotated around the sun, that disease could be treated with medicines and not prayers. Or, God forbid, everything was going well in your life.
That's what they used to do, bro. If that was a big thing with women back in, say, more like 1500s, 1600s. Like, they always thought women, like smart people, they thought they were witches. Like, you don't heal, like, say, you don't heal injuries with prayers, you heal them with medicine. They think you're a witch, like a non-God believer. Because back in those times, it was like religion was the only thing that people like believed in. Just religion, bro. Which that was a good thing. It's a good thing, but you know, it's all they like believed in was just religion. If you like thought against that, they'd just kill you.
You're definitely a sorcerer. That's the reputation that followed a Scottish aristocrat named William de Sully. He allegedly communicated with spirits and even defeated a giant. For these crimes, in 1321, he was sentenced to an execution method so brutal that it was officially used only several times in the entire history. The poor man was thrown into a giant cauldron on fire.
Oh, Jesus.
And almost 100 years later, Scottish lords used this same method to kill Sheriff John Melville because he was too strict, demanding that everyone follow the rules. They say that after the execution, every lord drank a spoonful of liquid from that cauldron. These same savage execution methods were used for forgers and murderers in the Roman Empire, as well as in medieval Europe.
Sounds like the Roman Empire did a lot of things, like bad tortured methods.
We can still see the cauldron used to execute those who forged money on the wall of a house in the Dutch town of Deventer. The convicts were boiled in oil. Boiling was also used to execute a robber gang leader in Japan. In the U.S., there was a case of using the same kind of punishment for disobedience. However, a unique case happened in England. In 1531, a cook, Richard Roos, who worked for the household of the Englishman John Fisher.
Guys, I feel like names were so much different, like, back in that time. And, like, even, like, like 40, 50 years ago, people were named so much different. It feels like now everyone's named like just a certain kind of name. Like no one's named John or Dan anymore. I feel like no one's named that because I don't really meet a lot of people in my age group that have names like that. It's weird. It's like weird to me, bro, because like no one's named that, like John or Dan or something like that. But
Bishop of Rochester added something to the food and poisoned 2 people. Then the furious bishop pressured the king, and the monarch did the same with the parliament. As a result, they adopted an ad hoc law that officially allowed to boil people alive for a poisoning attempt in England. In addition, it didn't require any public trial. In fact, this law was only adopted to allow them to boil the cook legally. However, it's no less terrifying that, reportedly, torture by boiling is still in use in the modern world.
really?
In 2002,
When?
reports surfaced about the deaths of 2 prisoners in a
Uzbekistan?
facility in Uzbekistan. Their bodies had burns that could only have appeared from being dipped in boiling water. Of course, the local authorities didn't confirm these scary rumors. In addition, in a 2010 documentary, a masked man claimed that in Mexican cartels, traders are thrown into cauldrons with boiling oil. To distract ourselves from these horrors, I suggest we get transported into the Victorian era, the time of exquisite, magnificent balls, during the reign of Queen Victoria. However, this beautiful exterior...
What's the reign of Queen Victoria? What country is that? I don't even know. Russia? Or is that England? I don't know.
was hiding
Too many monarchies in this time. We don't know.
horrific things. Because back then, unhealthy beauty standards demanded women to have 40 centimeter
Oh my god. That was crazy. That's crazy. I don't know how you do that.
waists.
How?
As well as crimson lips, pale skin, and a skinny build. That is, a woman had to look like she was suffering from tuberculosis. The poor ladies were willing to do anything to reach the unhealthy ideal. They even tortured themselves with their own hands. One of the most disgusting methods they resorted to was the consumption of parasite worms.
Y'all, quick reminder. I just want to give a reminder real quick. Don't forget to join the Discord server. Link in the description. Go join that to suggest react videos and put stuff in there that y'all want to see on the channel. Because I don't get many suggestions, but I'm just telling y'all. Join this Discord, put it in the comments, put it anywhere you want on community post comments, other video comments. What do y'all want to see? Because I want to react to stuff that y'all want to see. Funny moments, the worst murders in history or something. Like, anything that's good, like 13-minute long videos, like 10 to 25-minute videos. I'll accept anything. Anything that's under 30 minutes and above 10 minutes. Y'all. Go suggest that in the Discord. Put it in the comments. Put it anywhere you want, guys. YouTube Shorts, too. I'll take anything. But, y'all, hope y'all enjoy the rest of this video. And peace out, guys. And I'll see y'all in the end of the video, and I'll be talking. So, bye-bye.
To be more precise, the women swallowed pills with tapeworm eggs. The eggs hatched into worms and reached 10 meters in length and absorbed a significant share of nutrients from the
So it would make them skinnier. Makes sense.
Food the victims consumed. The ads for the product promised the women that they'd be able to eat however much they wanted and stay thin with no damage to their health whatsoever. Of course, that was a lie.
Sanitized tapeworms. How are you gonna sanitize a tapeworm? It's literally a parasite that can kill you. What? And make you very sick. How do you, like, what how do people believe these things? I do not get this.
The infected women felt horrible, and it only got worse. First, the worm leached onto an intestinal wall, damaging the mucous membrane and weakening blood flow. This caused abdominal pain, acid reflux, and nausea. As the parasite kept growing, its waste products filled the body with toxins, damaging the liver and the immune system. The poor women developed constant headaches, general fatigue, and dizziness. Eventually, the worms would absorb virtually important nutrients from the infected woman's body, and she'd experience rapid weight loss and anemia. This, in turn, could cause heart failure and deadly consequences.
See?
However, women of the Victorian era didn't die of parasite worms. Instead, they died trying to get rid of them. To get the tapeworm out, a special trap was invented and patented. First, the woman had to endure 4 to 5 days without eating, and what ensued was not for the weak of heart.
Oh, God.
A piece of cheese was placed inside the trap. Then, it was tied to a rope. and the woman had to swallow it so that it went down to the stomach. According to the idea, the hungry tapeworm had to pounce on the food and get stuck in the trap. The woman would supposedly feel this moment, and the parasite would be yanked out. The trap was made from pure gold, probably to make it even more luxurious. However, this didn't change the fact that the contraption blocked the woman's airways, and the poor things simply died of asphyxiation. Those lucky enough to survive weren't rid of the tapeworms because those parasites live exclusively in the bowels. So after all these tortures, the Victorian woman would go through yet another humiliating and pointless trial. She would try to lure the parasite out by placing a glass of milk near her open mouth and the other end of the digestive tract. Luckily for us.
What? Okay, like medicine and like people, I mean, people were dumb back then with medicine and like trying to cure bacteria and diseases. But like, you put milk near your mouth and near your butthole, and you think the tapeworm is gonna crawl out from that? How are we in copper? Like, this makes no sense.
Modern culture is starting to accept all the natural body shapes and popularize a healthy lifestyle. So if someone says there's something wrong with the way you look, you can wish them a pleasant journey back to ancient Persia. It'll be a bit too harsh, however, since it was the birthplace of one of the most horrific punishments of all time, Skiffism. The victim was tied between two boats. Then he was coated with and forcefully fed milk and honey. This part may not sound all that scary, but what ensued was literal hell.
I've seen this before.
Firstly, the convict's face and limbs were instantly covered with insects that continuously bit and stung him. Secondly, this kind of diet caused severe diarrhea. Inside the boat, the person's waste provided the perfect environment for parasites, bugs, and worms that started eating the victim alive.
That's
the first
horrible.
mention of Skiffism was recorded in 401 BC. Then, the king of the Persian Empire used this method to execute a warrior for killing his brother. Before passing, the convict had suffered for 17 days. It was rare for insane tyrants to use such a lengthy torture method. However, the rulers of ancient states
17 days of sitting in your own poop and getting eaten alive by bacteria. That's horrible.
Excessively inventive in the punishment area. For example, one of the execution methods used across a significant part of Asia was Gunga Reo, which involved dying under the feet of elephants. This type of torture was used to punish people for a wide variety of crimes, from tax evasion to participating in mutinies. Therefore, the punishment itself varied.
When was this? Well, it was like ancient times. Okay.
This type of torture was used to punish people for a wide variety of crimes, from tax evasion to participating in mutinies. Therefore, the punishment itself varied, since the elephants were specifically taught different tricks. The elephant's handler, responsible for overseeing the torture, sat atop its back. In rare instances, criminals were thrown into an arena with an uncontrollable animal and pardoned if they managed to tame the elephant. For Akbar the Great, the ruler of the Mughal Empire, resorting to the Gunga Reo punishment was an act of grace of sorts. His elephants were trained to push and roll the convicts so as not to inflict severe trauma. After several days of such torture, the victims, battered but alive, were sometimes set free. However, the overwhelming majority of Gunga Reo use instances were much more cruel and served the purpose of execution. The elephants were taught to grab the victims with their trunks and crush their limbs one by one. And when the ruler gave the finish sign, the elephant would stand on the convict's chest, or even his head. That's around 4 tons of weight. However, there was something worse.
Damn, 8,000 pounds?
The elephants were turned into killing machines. The executioners would attach swords to the animal's tusks, and their legs were covered with sharp iron spikes, just like
these guys were ruthless back then.
When this ironclad elephant was released to the convict, the animal would wrap its trunk around the victim and throw them high into the air. When the poor person hit the ground, the elephant would grab them with its teeth and throw them under its feet. Then, the animal would do what the ruler told it to do. This execution method remained in use until the early 19th century. However, sadly, Gunga Reo was far from the only savage
early
punishment
19th
practice.
century? 21st. 1800s? 1700s? Or am I on? Or am I off of it? I don't know when that is. Put it in the comments, guys. I don't know when that is. Tell me. Tell me when that would have been.
One of the most barbaric practices in the entire history of humankind was used in countless modern developed countries of Europe and Asia up to the 18th and 19th centuries. I'm talking about the breaking wheel. I'll try to be as discreet as possible when describing this absolutely horrific torture method. But I believe you have the right to know what was happening worldwide just 150 years ago. So first,
150 years ago?
tied to an X-shaped cross, and their largest bones were crushed in 2 places. This was done to ensure that the body would be able to bend unnaturally. Then, the victim was placed on a horizontally positioned wheel so that their body would leave no gaps inside the wheel. This method was used to punish people for robbery, arson, sexual crimes, murder, and of course, high treason. However, this doesn't negate the fact that the breaking wheel torture was nothing but an act of absolutely barbaric atrocity. It didn't even have the cover-up of the usual ritualistic conventions, such as sacrifice to a deity. I want to stress once again that I'm only telling you about all these horrific things because they were a part of history. Humanity had its dark times that nobody in their right mind would even consider approaching. The people who lived back then, on the other hand, had a completely different outlook on everything. That's exactly why virtually none of us would manage to survive in the past, especially distant past.
Yeah.
Especially among the Vikings.
It's because, like, people weren't as, like, advanced, per se. Like, you know these things, like, religion was a huge thing, and if you broke, like, if you did anything bad, or you didn't think God was real, they would kill you, and it was, they killed, like, they were just killing people left and right, and, I don't know, like, hundreds of years ago, they're just killing people left and right, like, it's just what they did, and that was the past, but people just, you know, realized other things, but video's almost done.
They were vicious,
Almost done.
battle-seasoned sailor warriors from Scandinavia. The Vikings were virtually illiterate, which is why all stories about them originate from other nations. Let's be honest here. If your country was terrorized by warriors like this, there would definitely be scary rumors circulating about them. That's how recounts of a horrifying execution method devised by the Vikings, the Blood Eagle, seeped into history books. Most historians doubt the existence of this kind of punishment. They believe it may have been a ritual to mock exclusively their dead enemies. However, contemporary scientists have studied the anatomical peculiarities of the blood eagle, as well as its socio-cultural context. That is, whether this punishment could have really been used in the Viking society. Their findings were blood-chilling. But first, let's find out what the blood eagle even is. It's when the victim was laid stomach down on a table or a raised platform, and then all of his ribs were severed from the spine with a knife. Then, the ribs were opened to the sides, creating...
Oh, nah. Oh my god. How do you survive in these times, bro?
wing.
Or, like, even survive torture, bro. Like, to survive any kinds of these tortures, bro, how do you do it?
And in the end, the executioners pulled out the victim's lungs. From a medical point of view, however, this procedure is highly complex. First, the executioners would need to cut through the muscles and then the bones. In addition, they'd have to somehow keep the lungs intact. When scientists used a computer simulation to test this, they found that the Vikings could hardly have performed this ritual without the victim dying before its end. Any crude and long blade would have inflicted injuries that would have killed the person almost instantly. However, historians believe the Vikings could have used short spears to avoid such an outcome. Luckily, there are only 2 mentions of this execution method being used. Both times, it was a case of ritualistic blood revenge. The first use of the blood eagle was when a Viking leader named Ivar the Boneless executed the king of Northumbria in 867 for the murder of his father. The second instance was in the 9th century when Torf Einar, a Scandinavian jarl, did the same thing with Halfdan Longleg, the son of Norway's first king. Moreover, this ritual execution was also the designated revenge for the murder of one's father. So what period would you prefer to have been born in, if not now? When people were used as living candles for an emperor's feast, or fed to worms?
Honestly, I don't even know about probably the Victorian or whatever era, because I'm not a woman. So, yeah, I don't know, bro.
Or maybe when they deliberately infected themselves with parasites, or braided people into...
Like, I get people were more stupid back then and didn't know as much medically and other stuff. But like to like infect yourself with parasites and having these doctors or advertisers tell you that these are clean worms and they won't infect you if you put them in, and they'll make you skinnier so you can put on the clothes or whatever that you wear. It makes no sense to me. But honestly,
wheels. As for
See
me,
this.
I'm glad to have been born here and now.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, a W video from Echoes. W. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get a video out tomorrow. And yeah. If y'all are watching this today, I might be streaming tonight, but maybe not. We're playing a tournament this weekend. I don't even know the date. February 2nd or 1st or something. So yeah, we're gonna be playing that this weekend on Saturday. We're gonna be playing a tourney, FNCS Cup thing. So yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching today's video, though, chat. But peace out, guys. See y'all tomorrow.